Alright, let's see what we got here. I wanna watch my stream. Let me watch my stream. I wanna make sure that everything is working. Let me watch my stream. Ooh, yeah. Yep, there we go. Perfect. BEA, beautiful. Alright. What are we doing? How are we doing? When are we? Why are we? What are we? Alright, hello. My name is 10K Hours, putting in the time, so my art is no longer a crime. Hello, Red Narrow Bird. Ah, you changed your name. Yes, I literally did that right before I started, so it no longer looks like 10K Hours. Now it looks more like 10K Hours. Thank you for, yes, I literally just started. I usually start at 8, unless I'm late, which is often. um, Putting in the time, so oh hey, Maytara, you guys are here too. I just got on Twitch. Oh, perfect. Wow. I think it's the first time I've ever had people. I think this literally is the first time I've ever had people here at the beginning of my stream. I usually talk to myself for a while. But let's see. You guys get to hear my catchphrase, which is putting in the time so my art is no longer a crime. I thought of that actually. Oh, what is it? I was talking with somebody else in chat and I thought of that, and I've just been using it ever since. Um, I'm listening to a band like Corrosion of Conformity. Nice. Um, Alrighty then. Well, in that case, let's just relax, get to it. I don't know the rest of the song. Alright, do I? The top stopwatch. Also, last week I forgot to stop my stopwatch at the end of the stream, so it went for like 12 hours before I noticed. But it was about like an hour and a half or so. Um, any hoodle McScoodle. Where are we? Oh yeah. We're back. I'm probably going to be because the 4th of July was last week, and I only had like that one day of practice, and I practiced drawing some hands or catching those hands. That's no, that's not. Anyways, um, I realized that didn't make any sense and it was dumb, but I was like, whatever. That literally is no different than anything else I've done. Did you see the video? I didn't. I saw that you posted it. I did not see what it was. Um, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, today I think I just want to do some more practice. Like, I worked on the basics with hands and whatnot, but today I want to work on maybe showing them from different angles and yeah, showing them from different angles and trying to figure that out and what it looks like. Just uh, I'm probably just used to it. Yeah, but it's also misleading because it looks like 10 hours, which doesn't make any sense. Although to be fair, most people's usernames don't really make any sense, so that's nothing new. Anyways, I just realized that I need to set up my this. Why does that look different? Are these different colors? No, okay. But I always take the background like light gray, so that way you're not staring at like a white background for forever. Uh, Maytari sounds like a name, but sounds like a name, but isn't. That's true. That's very true. Red Narrow Bird, your name does make perfect sense. When you realize it's a cardinal, um, but at the same time, if it didn't have the capitalized R, N, and B, it would have taken me forever to figure out it was Red Narrow Bird. I would be like, what's Red and Ro beard bird? Oh, it probably. So yeah, the capitals help. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get started with my warm-up. You guys get to see me do my truly terrible warm-up pictures as I try to draw an entire face in 60 seconds badly. Oh, I also need to pick what color I'm using this week. Um, that's a terrible color. All of these are bad. Here we go. I like this. How does this look? I like that. Perfect. All right. Let's do it. In three, two, one. Hell yeah, I get to see the beginning of the end of a great stream. Oh, thanks. The beginning of the end? Oh no. Is this my last stream? I hope not. Well, if my computer explodes, and my house, and me. Um, oh boy. Um, yeah, but these are my, oh gosh. These are my, oh man. I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time, and I'm literally not used to there being people here, so now I'm like, eh. But my normal warm-up is trying to draw faces in 60 seconds. Oh gosh. It's mostly so I can just draw something bad and get it out of the way so I make things less so I don't so I'm not trying to make everything perfect going forward. But it also does help with learning how to draw faces. Oh my gosh. Now that looks gorgeous. Thanks. I appreciate it. I have seen, and I'm also using what is site is called Line of Action. It's pretty cool. I've done some of they have like little classes and whatnot that you can do as well. Uh, and I've done those a few times. I've really, really, really messed up her nose. Uh, oh, and her eyes. Oh, goodness, her eyes. Um, she looks like. Oh my gosh, there's a very specific character that I've accidentally drawn her to look like, but I cannot remember who it is. Oh, that nose is so messed up. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. Alright. Oh, that's gonna really bother me. Where I know that face from. Oh, I've got his head real small. Oh, I've got the head real small. I spent about 5 minutes doing this. That backwards. There we go. And trying to, believe it or not, these are actually going fairly good today. I've had some truly, truly heinous, oh, head too big. Uh, truly, truly heinous ones that I've done in the past. And at least now, they kind of, at least now you can mostly tell the gender of the person, or at least the correct gender of the person I'm trying to draw. That was not always the case. Oh, I've messed up his nose a lot. Oh, and his mouth. All right. And here we go. I don't know why I'm starting with the ear. Oh, I hit too small. I've given her a unibrow. This, I apologize. Oops, that's not an eye. Oh boy. Alright, let's see. There we go, there's a 5. Let's look back at what we've done today. Uh, hey guys, want to see what I've been working on for like a week? Sure. The drawing you think looks like a character reminds me of Edna Mode from The Incredibles. I'm thinking of something like... It's this one. I'm thinking of somebody very specific. It's the hair. It's from like an old cartoon, but I cannot think of what the old cartoon is. And I feel like the person, it was like a big guy who had hair like this. This is gonna bother me, but I'm almost never going to figure it out. Uh, this one I feel like is the one I got the closest, but it's still really off. All right. Well, uh, let's see what you've been working on, Maytari, while we're resetting up my OBS. Do 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 do. It's probably a better way to do this, but I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah. Okay. Uh, oh, nice. It's Dark Pit versus, is that just regular Pit or Light Pit? All I know is Smash Bros. That's literally all I know when it comes to them. What they refer to, there is no Light Pit. That's true. So I guess it's just normal Pit and Dark Pit. Is Dark Pit, is he like his brother? Is he a clone? Is he something completely different? I realize that there is a whole set of, my brain isn't working. Uh, there is a whole set of lore here that I just do not know. Let's see. Clone. Okay. Why do I keep seeing RHCP stuff? Like, they're not that good. They're just okay-ish. Red Hot Chili Peppers? Oh. Uh, I would blame... Oh my god, why could I not think of the name of that music platform? Spotify. Wow. Is that the kind of day we're having where I can't even think of the word Spotify? Apparently so. All right. What are we doing today? Let's see. Like I said, not Tuesday, Thursday, I worked on just drawing some hands. I was just drawing them like looking straight on like this to see if I could like figure it out. Today we're gonna mix it up a bit. I kind of got a couple different styles and ways of doing it that I'm gonna mash together and see if I can't just create some in a couple different poses. So we're gonna start off basic. Um, let's see. Okay, yeah. Trying to remember what I had from Tuesday. Actually, hold on. Why do I have just the world's smallest pen? Let's grab a bigger one. There we go. Right. Okay. And we're just gonna go. Okay. Then, doot, doot. It's kind of like one of those. Actually, hold on. This needs to be more of like a yeah, like that. I also think I made this too long again. Maybe. Unless I make the fingers a little bigger. But I'm gonna take the parts that I liked, which was this, this, and this for the thumb. And then with this one, it was cylinders, like there was, actually hold on. There's one finger right here, and there we go. And you set the spaces for the fingers. That helped me as well. All right, and then we had like a little cylinder right there. We had a bigger one that was going down like around here. Made a mitten kind of like that. I like this color. And then this one up and around. All right, we're gonna make it a little rough. Oh, this middle finger is, or ring finger is super tiny. Yeah, I realize I did not make this come out nearly far enough. All right. That's all right. We're just trying to see what I remember from Thursday. Add in that. Round this off a bit. And uh, uh, you did pretty good. My dad can remember songs from 30 plus years ago, but forget what he ate yesterday. I'm the same, except I'm not even 20. What the spaghetti fingers, yeah. Although, dad's forgetting things, except for like random stuff like that, is a real dad move. Like, my dad forgets every time that I don't really like chili. Although, to be fair, it's not that I don't like chili, it's just that it's so much work to eat because I don't like tomato chunks and I really hate beans. Like, beans are so gross to me. And there's a lot of those in chili. So eating chili is just such a hassle that I don't even bother. All right. All right. There we go. And I think I got there's the pads. Yeah, like that. There we go. Round it out a bit. Iterate. My my style so far has been to just kind of get a general shape and then iterate from there. And speaking of iterating from there, if I am going to keep iterating on this, I actually need to fix it then, because this needs to be longer. Still super thin fingers. I think actually that needs to be a lot longer than now that I'm looking at it. Or actually, This finger needs to be a tiny bit thinner. A little bit better. Still some real spaghetti fingers I got going on. Which are not nearly as worse as spaghetti westerns. Well, depending on the context that you see them in. Let's see. I just had chili. I think that reasoning is fine for not liking chili. I just always liked it. Yeah. Uh, I got I got stupid mouth. There's a bunch of things that I don't like for like pure texture reasons. Tomatoes being one of them. Like, love the flavor of tomatoes. I'll eat pizza all day, every day, spaghetti, um, and whatnot. But the flavor, but as long as like the tomatoes are in a sauce form, I'm good. But actual like raw tomato or even like chunks of tomato and spaghetti sauce, I think the spaghetti sauce chunks are the worst. But I mean, I love stuff like salsa. I love salsa, but I'll just dip the chips in and get like all like that extraneous juice that's in there and eat that. Um, rather than just like, scoop up a bunch and eat it. All right, we're working a little bit, looking a little bit better here. Like a friggin' psychopath. Right, and then swear those are gonna be. Actually, no. This one's gonna be a little lower. You're. It's gonna be more like. Actually, it is gonna be a little because it's like. Yeah, it is gonna be. Sorry, I'm trying to think of where like the joints are, and I'm not explaining what I'm saying out loud. All right, there we go. Not looking too bad. I start my timer? I did not. There we go. All right, now that I've actually done that. All right, not too bad. It's not too bad, but let's start some iterating. First things first, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to turn it around. I got to fully reorient my brain. Uh, that's too long. There we go. There we go. Let's turn it around. Then we're going to go from the back. So I'm still going to do this. But then also a really small a lot smaller of a palm. Actually, hold on. Getting what I do. I do this. And this is not leaving a lot of... Maybe I'm making the gaps in between them a little bit too big. It's not leaving a lot of room for the fingers. That's not what a thumb looks like. Just to go in, yeah. So thumb's kind of coming far out. I think I made the actual pad of the hand long, big enough. All right, so this is gonna be fun. Trying to figure out what the back of a hand looks like. I know it like the back of my hand. Do you? Do you? What does the back of your hand look like? Draw it right now. Nails. Also, there's wrist I gotta think about too. I don't know why I just rounded that off on the bottom. What'd that wrist do? Alright, there we go. There's something I've done wrong with the thumb, and I can't figure out what it is. Is it too low? Or it's too short, that's what it is. It's way too short. That is exactly what it is. It's way too short, and the fingers, like the actual like pad part of the hand, the palm of the hand is too short. Okay, I see it now. All right, we're gonna move this up a bit. Beautiful. And then the thumb, I'm just gonna redraw the thumb. Try to compare this to my own thumb. This is one of those things where the more you stare at it, like even on your own body, your brain's like, that makes sense. Then you're like, but does it? And then your brain's like, but does it? And you sort of think, do I have a normal thumb? Of course, I don't think anybody really has a normal thumb. Thumbs are weird. I think as long as it's close, we're good. There we go. Also, fingernails are one of the things. I drew that fingernail a little small, and like my brain had a visceral reaction to it, like, that's not right. Fingernails are one of those things that immediately elicit like the uncanny valley, like something's wrong here response in your brain. I don't know why. Well, probably because they're such a like an important part of your body, and also anything happening to them is immediately brings up like feelings. I think that reasoning is fine for not liking each other. You're doing better than I would with hands, but that's not a big accomplishment. You know what? I'll take it. Let's see. Person's got sharp fingers or just fingernails. I could just say, they just got some nails, but I'm not going to take that cop out. I'm actually trying to. I'm actually trying to get some practice in here. Do 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 do. Let's. Oops, that's not what I want. I have a tendency to make this first finger really big, and then the other fingers after it small, like too small. Although to be fair, like that is one of your bigger fingers, so I think that tendency is coming from like a good place, maybe. But it just looks so much thicker than the rest. Now the thumb looks too big. Of course, it is big. And I don't know. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Not looking too bad. And if I'm using my hand as a reference, then I need to add hair all over it. Uh, Including like up here on the first knuckle. Uh, let's see. Oh gosh, that's one of those things where I'm like, do I want to be adding that? Ew. It's kind of gross actually. Don't think about it and the fact that it's on your body. I didn't finish coloring that I made. The thumb looks too far away and it makes it stand out more and look bigger. That's true. I think it's just like the end part that's too far away. That makes sense. I'm also gonna erase all the hair I put on here because I was trying to make a joke and I just think it makes it look gross. uh, I might not look it, but I'm kind of a hairy dude. Right. Oh, you know what? The more I think about it, nope, nope, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. There we go. I think it's literally just that part. All right, does that look better? That does. And then there's this part right here is not straight. It's like at a tiny curve, like a tiny angle, going down like that. It's also like slightly bigger than the other fingers. I think if I cut down on this part. Yeah, this is also one of those things that I could spend forever trying to figure this out. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, because like that bone really does go out like far from your hand. Like the more I look at it, the more I'm like, damn, that sucker stick out. Um, there we go. And this also makes sense if the fingers are like curved down just a bit, but they're not. Other than that, now the fingers seem short. You know what? We're trying to figure things out. Let's try a couple things. Why not? See how it looks. If it looks weird, we can always go back. I think I need to fix where these are. Where the knuckles are. Where these? What are these? What are those? They're knuckles. Not there. They are not echidnas. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to work on. But overall, let's see. Use, use those hairs for cleansing. Blech. Ugh. It looks more proportionate to the thumb. It's the curves. The curve's too big. It looks more proportionate to the thumb. Oh, that's because I drew the hand on the left side with the thumb more pointing up like this, and then I drew the thumb on this side with the thumb more pointing down like doing a that. So that's why it looks a little weird. Okay. Alright, let's see here. You know what? We're doing some practice. Just gonna make you a little smaller and stick you over here. I'm also drawing all of this on one layer like a maniac, but I don't care. Give myself a little bit more room. There we go. All right. Before I was taking up like half the space. Now it's taking up like maybe a fourth of the space. Haha. All right. Uh, I want to try it from a different angle. All right. Don't want to do the side. Let's just try the. Let's let's go with. This might be kind of hard. Let's keep some things straight. Like I want to go with like right on, but we'll just kind of like bend the fingers so like they're going towards the camera. So we'll keep some things, or the viewer, I should say. So we'll keep some things the same, but I just want to start like changing up some things and trying it from some different angles. Speaking of different stuff, there we go. What a new color. All right. Um, ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba ba. Okay, yeah. All right. Got that. Oh, I've made the fingers here huge. All right, so first one's going to come up. This is a huge fingers. And all right, so this one's gonna come up much all the way. That's a real chode of a finger I got there. All right, there we go. That's better. This one's gonna come down and stop right about. It's gonna come down and stop not right there. Yeah, actually right about there. And then this one's gonna stop right about there. And this one's gonna stop right about there. Okay. So this is gonna be the fun part. There's gonna be, it's gonna come up, and if using my own finger, or using like my own hand as like a little bit of a guide, it's really gonna come up to like right about there. Go over to the side, and then there's going to be this. And I see the little bit of the nail up top. Get this, and there's gonna be a like a that, and then this one's gonna also go up at a little bit of an angle. Then there's gonna be this, gonna go up like a little bit, and then the end of the finger is gonna hang over. Huh. I thought this would look weird, but the more I like just try to rough it out, the more I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it now. And then this one's gonna go up, do the same, pretty much. There's gonna be the knuckle, and then this one's gonna go up a little bit. It's going to really hang over. You're gonna be able to see the knuckle a little bit, and then the front part's gonna hang down. Okay. Wow. All right, let's see if we can't iterate a bit here. I still got a really big pointer finger. Really big. Um, let's see, it looks more appropriate. You can use for your 10K hours. It would maybe want those fingers. I would, I don't usually accept that. Jeez. You're still on one from last week. Alright, and then actually it's gonna be more of like it's gonna be up and around. And then I'm trying to figure out how to translate what I am seeing to the page, which is the definition of drawing. uh, I'm trying to draw what I see. Also, there's something about like there being like a lot of extra lines and stuff that almost looks like wrinkles on hands that make it look more realistic. I think it's because our hands are just covered in wrinkles. So I don't have a lot of great light. I have been trying not to do this forever, but there's starting to be a part of me that's like, do I need one of those like I think of them as TikTok lights, but I guess they're like streamer lights that actually like shines on me. I don't know if I want to do that though. They're probably expensive. Ah, no, that's not what I wanted. Go back in. Oh, too much. Actually, you know what? That's probably might be a little better because I was really far away. Let's go back down to like a 15. Yeah, that way I can get this line without cutting off the tip of that finger. Okay. All right, now that I'm trying to actually like iterate and figure this out, these are starting to look a little goofier. When I was kind of just roughing them in, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm starting to be able to see this. But now I'm trying to get something specific, and it's a little bit more difficult. Let's see. So I was kind of doing this. So no, that's not what we want. Let's see. It's 9:46 for me. I'm trying to figure out how to put my pencil on paper and then write a masterpiece far above standards and exceeds the gratefulness of life that it amazes people so much they begin to scream and cry as it's in a museum. Testicles? A portrait of testicles. Okay. I was trying to figure out what you wrote. I was like, well, okay. Okay, I see what's kind of making this part especially look weird. Okay. It needs to, it's supposed to be, okay, okay, okay. I'm seeing it, I'm seeing it, I'm seeing it. I'm starting, he's starting to believe. Goes up and around. So you can kind of see the back. I'm not explaining at all what I'm doing. Okay, so this is kind of like the hand thing I'm going for. Like one finger still going up and then the rest kind of going down because, practicing that. Like seeing fingers from a different one. And this one especially, uh, the ring fingers, a little weird because I'm trying to figure out how to show that it's bent at probably about a 90-degree angle at the first knuckle. And I'm trying to figure out how to show that. And then actually, one of the things is I don't have enough room. It needs to go down a little bit further. There we go. Then there's this is going to be going out and then down. Then up, over, and then a little bit of, no, not a little bit of that, like a little bit of that, and then maybe that for the fingernails. Also, I'm making my fingernails look weird. I'm just having them take up like, what am I? Oh, I was, why I had the blending tool? I was like, that's not right. All right. Okay, there we go. Make the fingernails look a little bit more realistic. They don't take up the entire top of the ends of the finger. There's little spaces in there. Um, it's weird I can move my foot in a certain way. That makes an ankle pop on command. No, a lot of people can do that. I can do it so that I can feel the pop, but you can't hear the pop. So that's where my life is. Let's see. All right. And then it's getting a little better. This is kind of hard because it's one of those things where it's like I don't know if this is reading the way that I want it to, but at the same time, I definitely know there's stuff in drawing, especially when you have like foreshortening and stuff like this, where you have it correct, it just doesn't look correct. So I'm trying to figure out if this is one of those situations. Um, and it might be. Who's to say? Me or somebody who knows better. Right, there we go. And then this is actually going to be like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, this finger's so large. Let's work on the thumb a little bit because it is a problem. All right, this finger up here is an issue. It is too thick, and this is a little bit better. That's a little better. All right. Let's see. I always thought it was weird. Let's see. I always thought it was weird because I could make it loud, and it's just something I wouldn't expect to be normal. Well, I mean, it wouldn't have been normal at one part in your life for sure, but now, who's to say? I'm already in the place where I am only 32, and the amount of times my knees pop when I stand up is not zero. It's not every time, but it definitely happens. And there's always a couple times where I'm like, yep, that's not great. Don't like hearing that, but I don't know. There's not much you can do about it. Well, there's probably stuff that I can do about it, but it's those part of our bodies are always the first to go. I think I've kind of gotten this first part, the middle finger here, as it's like, well, for the most part, it needs to be a little bit more like, yeah, it needs to have just a little bit more. Because this is one of the ones where, yeah, it is just weird, and it's going to look weird because it's bent. Uh, oh, I've always been able to. I have a theory about death because I think I experienced it. You think you experienced death? Holy cow. When? How? What happened that almost killed you? This is a very wide hand. This is a wide, short hand. Also, one of the things, this, that's not what I wanted. Like, one of the things that's always a little bit weird is that that part of the hand right there doesn't like go up and connect over here. That connects above. So, yeah, that's supposed to be more like that. Okay. Let's see. This is a wide hand. It's also one of the things where the more I stare at my own hand, the weirder it looks. And the more I think all hands just might look a little weird. Of course, that's one of the things I've noticed about art is that you're staring at like, especially when it comes to drawing people, is that you're staring at like a particular part or like a person for a long time, and eventually you start to pick out like little weird details about them, which in any other context would make you sound like an insane person. Like, this is like a year or two ago. It was like a slight form of it, or look. I moved incredibly quickly. I just ate cereal and I fell and fully blacked out and I saw like random ass depictions in my mind. And they disappeared and it was nothing. I got up a few seconds later. When I was on the floor, I didn't have any senses at all, like nothing had happened. Can't really explain it, but that summary really explains. It sounds like you passed out. You must have been really low on blood sugar or something. I don't think I've ever passed out like that. All right, there we go. We've got some hands. Let's try something now. What is it? 901? Perfect. We're about the halfway point. Let's grab a new layer. And I had cereal and got up quickly. Uh, how the fuck did I pass out? I had cereal and got up quickly. How the fuck? That... Oh, if did you just stand up real quickly? Um, if you had you just eaten the cereal, or had you just got? Well, let's see. If you just eaten ain't a word. Um, then your body hasn't processed it fully yet. So, um, and then standing up too quickly. I mean, everyone's experienced a thing where they stand up too quickly and all of a sudden, like, their vision swims and like goes dark for a second. You must have just like hit that perfectly or something. Thankfully, it doesn't happen. It used to happen. That used to happen to me a lot when I was younger, or I'd stand up too quickly and my vision would blur for a second. It hasn't happened to me. I had cereal and got up quickly. It hasn't happened to me too much lately. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Uh, things be weird. Also, one second. I gotta pee real quick. I've been drinking a lot of water, and I gotta go. Un segundo. All right. All right. So you had stood up and like walked a bit, and then you got there. Okay. And then you passed out. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but but that sounds like that's definitely you definitely passed out. I don't know why you passed out, but you definitely passed out. Especially uh I can't say I have much experience with that or really any at all. I literally can't think of a time where I passed out. There's definitely times I've fallen asleep and couldn't wake me up, especially at oh my gosh, we had these when I was growing up in the church I went to, uh we would have like these youth lock-ins where we would like we did them like once or twice a year, and we would all just hang out there, and we would like stay up all night. There was like games, and they were a lot of fun. And in one, it was, and in one, there was like this. We were doing like this fear factor thing, and I was going to take part in it, but there was like some really gross stuff that we were gonna have to eat, and I was like, I'm not about this. I'm bowing out. That looks too gross. So I just went and I like was like this was taking place in like the big like auditorium area in our church, and we had all brought like sleeping bags and whatnot, um, because just in case we did fall asleep, we weren't going to. It was a youth lock-in. You're gonna stay up all night and hang out with your friends and have some fun. But anyways, uh, I just let's see. I remember sitting on the front and I watched. I don't even think I saw the first person go because it was like 2 or 3 in the morning at this point. And I remember thinking like I think I'm just gonna lay down for a second. And I like grabbed my pillow and I like a blanket I had brought and I just like laid down. I fell instantly to sleep. Um, I learned later, and they couldn't. I learned later that while I was asleep, like they went through the entire rest of like that whole like fear factor thing with people eating like the gross food and whatnot, and like a complete third challenge after that. And the whole time people were trying to like wake me up, like they would shake me. Some people even said that they were like yelling my name, and I was just dead asleep and nothing they could do to wake me up. They contemplated pouring water on me, but they decided that would be too cruel. Um, uh, at small point where it skips. Yeah. Um, it wasn't instant like I just like felt dead from wish how the fuck could you explain it? It can't be stand up quickly and blood pressure takes a minute to get to your brain, but it was fine for like 10 to 15 seconds or more. That could be it. Um, that could be it. I have another theory for death that makes more sense. The point where you sleep, where you can't remember the shit like that small point where there's a skip. Yeah, that could be where death feels like. I personally believe that there is an afterlife. So it could initially be like that, but I don't know. Yeah, I believe. Let's see. Actually, at like the actual point of death, there probably is going to be a moment like that where it is just nothing. But uh, I believe that there will be an afterlife after that. So it won't always be like that. Wow. All right, what was I gonna do? Okay, yeah, I was gonna try drawing in a whole arm. That's what I was going to do to switch it up right before I went to the bathroom. Let's give this a try. Because another thing that kind of sucked with my arms, let's see, it is cool, but I can't get my head wrapped around the whole afterlife thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Let's see. Um, well, let's see. If you think about yourself as just a body, then yeah. But if you think about yourself as both body and spirit, um, like there's an actual like spirit and tangible force inside of you that uh, is you as well, uh, then it makes more sense because it's like you're leaving your body behind and your spirit is leaving. All right, so let's do an arm. Man, we're getting heavy on this stream. All right, so got my chain links. I'm really glad I learned this. That's not what I want. Also, do I want to do the full shoulder? Also, I'm not leaving myself enough room for a hand, I don't think. But we'll see. If I have to make it a little bit smaller, I have to make it a little bit smaller. All right. So I'm kind of going with like an arm that's sticking out like this, and then there's going to be a hand. Actually, I did one where it's another one was looking on, or I was looking at where the viewer was looking at the front of the hand, like the palm. I'm going to do another one from the back, but with an arm that's kind of sticking out. I had this arm going at like an insane angle. Why is this person doing this? You know what? I'm going with it. Doesn't make any sense, and I love it. All right, let's do it. Let's iterate a little bit here, because this is wild what I've done for the arm. This person is not going to be someone who works out like me. And let's see. I'm also confused because with the afterlife, when we remember our past selves some years ago? Yeah. I asked this because, well, then life would be an infinite cycle where you would eventually cause us to lose track of time and not have control of ourselves because it's a constant loop. There's a way I think of life, and it's weird, but it's the most scientific way in my opinion. Let's see. Our past self from years ago. Oh, do you mean like reincarnation and like coming back? Like it's the same spirit coming back? Let's see. Well, that kind of goes off the assumption that we do reincarnate. I personally, like I said, I went to church when I was younger, but I am still a Christian. Uh, so I believe in heaven and hell and all of that. And it's definitely been challenged, and my views on quite a bit of things and that have changed over the years uh, as I've struggled and wrestled with them. But at the end of the day, that is still what I believe. How do wrists do? Okay, so this arm is not straight. It has like a little bulge out here and then it goes in. This arm, the forearm. That's the way of saying that. That's the word. Oh, turn my stabilization up a little bit. I was just kind of going for it today. I didn't really care about how bad my lines were. Honestly, kind of liked it. I need to be doing that more. Just going for it. Let's see. If we would reincarnate, we would remember our past, but I can't figure out how it would work. Not hate against like believing it. It's just I'm trying to understand how it would work. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I know anything about reincarnation. I don't. Uh, that is a philosophy that I really have not looked too into, or really even at all, and only kind of tangentially know from like other media and sources. All right, Mr. Thin Arms over here. All right, all right, I'm going like this. Okay, so there we go. All right, adding a little bit more definition does help because my brain was like, something's wrong. That's the thing about drawing people is there's a bunch of things that your brain knows like, that's not quite right, but you don't really know why. But it's just because your brain's so used to looking at people that it's like, oh no, I can tell that there's something wrong there. It's the reason why there's the uncanny valley. But now this is kind of too thick back here, I think. Because definitely, like, yeah. Which part is the forearm? Is the back part of the arm or this part of the arm the forearm? I can never remember. Let's see. We got, yeah, what do we remember past that? Yeah. I feel like an infinite cycle loop. That means most of us would experience the sun exploding, and life isn't an infinite loop, so reincarnation or the idea you can be looped back into it like some random guy named Jesus just doesn't feel right. Infinite cycle loop. That means most of us experience the sun exploding, and life isn't an infinite loop, so reincarnation or the idea you can be looped back into life like some random guy named Jesus just doesn't feel right. I do not know what you are saying. Yeah, like an infinite cycle loop. That means most of us would experience the sun exploding. And life isn't an infinite loop, so reincarnation or the idea you can be looped back into it like some random guy named Jesus just doesn't feel right. Are you saying Jesus was reincarnated? I don't. And then he came back to life. Oh, yeah, but that wasn't reincarnation. That was resurrection. That was the same Jesus coming back uh, in the same body. And it's not like he was born again to a different person. He was dead for a few days and then he came back. And that was actually for a completely different reason. So, oh boy, are we gonna get into this? Yeah, might as well. All right, so Hold on, I'm trying to get my thoughts. So in Christian theology, uh, well, actually, okay, yeah. I'm trying to figure out where you are coming from. But in Christian theology, Jesus didn't. Let's see. Let me back this up a second. So I'm trying to think of where to start. Okay, yeah. So in Christian theology, the central basis is that everybody's messed up, nobody's perfect, but the requirements to get into heaven is perfection, which is literally impossible. So Jesus came, who was uh, who was God, but turned himself into a mortal so he could live that perfect life, uh, and then he died to pay that price so that uh, to pay that price for everybody else. So in Christian theology, if you mess up, or sin, or if you're not perfect, uh, that is, let's see, that means that you are deserving of hell, even once. But because Jesus came and died and paid that price, now by simply believing in him and uh, by believing that he is Lord and uh, by declaring that he is Lord and by believing that in your heart and declaring with your mouth that he is Lord, um, all of a sudden his perfect record applies to you, and now you can get into heaven. It literally has nothing to do. It literally has nothing to do with like how good you are or like trying to live a perfect life. And in fact, all of the verses and whatnot that are about that are saying like, hey, because you guys are Christians now and you've come to these acceptances, you trying to actually be better people is supposed to come from you being like, I'm really thankful for what has been done for me. Um, and I want to try to be more like the person who's paid this price for me. But uh, eh, there's there's a lot that is very messed up in the church today, and especially in America. And there's a lot of stuff that is put on like being a good person or living a perfect life or doing all of this when that's just not how any of that works. Um, it's it's just not how any of that works. It's yeah, at its base, Christianity is everybody's messed up, and but that's okay because somebody already paid the price for you, and he is living, willing, and able to have that price applied to you. And it is a free gift. There's nothing you can do to earn it. It is it is just a free gift for those that want it. That's probably like my best way of explaining it. Um, let's see. Also, JK, Jesus was a whole another story. I'm just saying how he came back to life is kind of similar to reincarnation. Well, no. You die and come back to life. Only difference is in a new body. Idea makes no sense because it implies life is an infinite cycle, which is not the idea of reincarnation. Okay. It implies life is okay. So reincarnation implies that life is an infinite cycle. Um, well, I mean, some other religions. I believe Buddhism. I believe is and maybe Hinduism. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna put all of those like I'm not 100% sure is in front of it because I am not. But I know Buddhism is, and I know Buddhism especially. Um, That's where a lot of reincarnation comes from. Because it's about like, actually, what am I doing? Buddhism especially is where the idea of reincarnation comes from. Because a lot of that is uh, coming to like enlightenment. I could be having this wrong, but coming to enlightenment uh, is how you get into heaven or their version of heaven. And the only way to do that is through like reincarnation, as the soul is like solely purified or something. I don't know. Um, I really don't know how that works or what the exact teachings are on that. I'm just going off of what I think I know. So going from the back, I'm not gonna do this so I can get like a proper place for the thumb. Okay, go. Let's see. I'm no mathematician, but I would try to see how things like that would work if it was one. Also BS. Mathematicians also BS. They're way through everything though, so yeah. Um, well, mathematicians are, it's a lot of, I mean, they're doing their best guesses and they're given ranges. It's next to impossible to perfectly predict how something is going to go, even with the even with the best stats that are available. Hell, just look at I mean, I'm wearing the shirt for the alma mater I went to, or the college that I went to, Oral Roberts University. Oh gosh, this was back in, I want to say 2021, 22. This was just a couple years ago during like, no, it wasn't a couple years ago. Actually, okay, so yeah, it was a few years ago, not a couple years ago. But my alma mater, they became like the dark horse, like uh, come out of nowhere team in March Madness. And like, yeah, just think about how many people do like March Madness brackets. Like, you can have someone who knows every stat about every team and go and can make the perfect bracket going off of like based off of everything that I know about these teams, all their players, and everything that is most likely to happen. I can figure out that all of these teams are the ones that are most likely to win in these matchups, and based on this, the one that is most likely to win should be X team. But then all of a sudden, something gets messed up, and some underdog there's a little fruit fly around here. Did I get it? Oh my god, I got it. Holy shit, I just caught that fly with one hand. Anyways, random badass moment. Um, yeah, so there's always stuff that can't be accounted for. All right, and I'm gonna try to go with like that same angle. So there's always stuff that happens that just can't be accounted for, and there's um, randomness and absurdity to life. Honestly, makes it pretty cool. Because if everything happened the way that it was supposed to, or the way that thought it would, or the way that you were told it would, then it wouldn't be very interesting. Okay, here we go. So at the end of a day, it's really all, a lot of that is really just people's best guesses. I think even the mathematicians themselves would say like, hey, this is just what we think is most likely to happen. Alright, and then I don't know why I picked such a weird angle. But I'll take it. Strangely enough, actually not strangely enough now that I think about it, I was like, strangely enough, I think this is one of my ones that looks the best, but then the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, oh yeah, that's because I have most of the fingers that are being like cut off and blocked by the ones that are in front of it. So, of course, it looks pretty good because I didn't have to draw a whole bunch of stuff. All right, uh, this finger needs to be a little thicker. Pointer finger. Also have some really bad art habits that I've been doing this stream. I've been doing a whole bunch of like little lines rather than I've been trying to practice since the beginning with using like big lines. And not like a whole bunch of little ones that connect. But at the same time, it's really easy to fall back into doing that. Let's see. The more I try to fix the thumb, the worse it gets. I also don't know why I picked this angle. Also, I can never figure out arms. There's a ton of like just little stuff that I need to look at, that I need to work on. I, I'm trying to look at like my own hand in like this same position. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, because it's gonna be like out here like this. Okay, so another thing is that you would still be able to see like the other fingers below, like just barely. Okay, that helps. And okay. Ah, no, not that. Anything but that. All right. Now I think I just had a realization. All right. So arms, whatever this part of the arm is, it goes out just a little bit and then back in towards the wrist. What I was doing is I was going from like the elbow and then I was having it do like that and then down. I was like, that looks wrong. That does not look right. That's because it starts at the freaking elbow. And then it goes out and then in. That looks better. And then this one does it too. Not quite as gradual. It needs to get Thinner, just a little quicker. That looks a little better. Okay, alright. Little stuff like this, helping out. Fix up the elbow a little bit. Why did I pick such a weird angle? I don't know. I just drew it and I was like, nah, we'll stick with it. Let's see. I'm trying to graph how it would work because it doesn't make sense. I'm also at the point where I'm at the slightly might as well be drunk stage. I'm like a good sober point and the might as well be drunk stage. I'm also 1 hour ahead of you, so maybe like 9:30ish for you. Yeah, it's 9:30, almost 9:40. Trying to graph out the afterlife. Good luck, man. Also, oh, okay, another thing. Going to be like a little bump in the wrist as well. Not quite that pronounced, but there is going to be like a little bump. Let's see. If I get rid of the one I put in over here. There we go. Actually, adding in like a little bump there helped a lot. It's always really weird, the things to me that make stuff look better. And it's always like tiny things, like starting from a different, like a slightly different instant place. Or like a little line or like slightly moving something. Oh, also, this is a really fucked up. This is a really, really fucked up. Because I got like the first knuckle, and then I didn't have like the entire second knuckle of the thumb. Oh my god. No wonder it looked weird. Ooh. Gosh. Uh, Starting to wonder if thumbs are just weird or if I have weird thumbs. Because every time I try to draw it, I'm like, ugh. Ugh, ugh. That doesn't look right. But thumbs be longer than you think they are. Uh, I don't know why that deserved a song, but it did. And it came out. Alright, and then, okay. There we go, okay. They're not quite that long. I'm trying to, man, I'm starting to think that the real problem with hands is that thumbs are hard. That's what I'm really starting to think here, because these are always the things that seem to like mess me up the most. Because thumbs be weird, because they're both like weird and big and flappy, but not at the same time. And if you do too much, they look weird. Okay. Also, all right, I'm seeing another issue here. I think I'm seeing this. Yeah. It needs to go more like that. And they stick out, but not as much as you think. Man. Okay, yeah, that actually looks better. Moving it in just a touch. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to grab that thumb broken. You broke it in more places than it can be broke. God damn. There we go. It definitely looks a lot better now. Moving it in a little bit closer helped. Um, and also fixing like the skin flap, how it needs to be coming from this side rather than the actual thumb side itself. Making sure there's a good skin flap in there, as you do, uh, helped. Uh, hands have a lot of skin flaps. How many more times can I say that phrase? No more, because I don't want to say it anymore. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. Not looking too bad. We got an arm and a hand. Man, if only I'd had this practice when I was trying to draw Link's friggin' sword and shield. Uh, there was a part of me that was like, I should go back and change that. Then there's another part of me that's like, no, I'm done. I can't go back and be fixing that, or else I will always be doing that. I gotta, I gotta learn when to be done. All right, that's supposed to actually be sticking out because you should be able to see a little bit of the ring finger down here. There we go. All right. Not too shabby. Actually, let's add, you know what? Let's keep iterating. We have 17 minutes. I don't want to start something new. So keep, let's see what can be added here. What can be fixed up? I can tell you one thing for sure. It's these lines over here. This person's finger looks like it's been in a paper shredder. All right, there we go. It's a little better. That's a little. The ends of the fingers are really small. That's. There we go. That's better. At this fingernail again. We're just gonna erase everything and start over. Go. I just went into focus mode and I realized I have not been talking. Okay. Dang it. Now that I'm actually looking at the thumb again, I'm like, eh. And then, okay, yeah. It should be like, I realized I had the knuckles really weird. That's what I'm trying to say. That's a little better. Let's see. I get how loops work, but like how can you get to the last point death to the first point alive forever? The last point death, the first point alive forever? I think I know what you mean. They would have to, for what you're trying to do, there'd have to be like some sort of like in-between state between death and life. So no, as the isekai realm. No. Uh, oh man. Can I say I am officially burnt out of isekais? I feel like every new anime is an isekai, and like I am, I'm done with them. Like even the ones that I did watch, I'm just like, eh. Like concept's not that interesting. Or I think really, like, I think I've really more like, what I really more don't find interesting anymore is like the magic system of the world being like video game logic and rules. I think more than that, more than anything, that's something that I don't find interesting anymore. Because honestly, I think it's too limiting. Like, the most interesting magic systems are the ones that are like cuckoo bananas. Uh, like, what is it? Uh, some of the best ones, Hunter x Hunter has an amazing magic system because it's like, all right, it's built off of these five things, and then the person literally like crafts what they do themselves. Um, Forever in terms of like a forever loop. Queenside Silent City is a good song. I'm still sad I have the unknown world record. Harry Potter you have it. You have the unknown world record in Harry and Lego Harry Potter. Years 5 to 7. What? You are on. I'm starting to wonder if you're like drunk tired or just actually drunk, Red Narrow Bird. Um, but what is it? Like Hunter x Hunter's got an interesting magic system because it's just the person makes it and then it's like based off of like, all right, what are you willing to like? You have something specific. What are you willing to sacrifice or what are you willing to do in order to make that specific thing happen? Um, so I think a good example of this is there's a guy who can create pretty much any effect that he wants, but he has to write a haiku about it first. Um, like he wants something to catch on fire, he has to write a haiku about this thing catching on fire, and then like punch the haiku into it, and it does that. So there's all sorts of stuff, uh, and so people can have these crazy effects, but they're always tied to like they're always tied to something else. Like there's some sort of other condition that they have to meet first in order to make this thing happen. And it leads to really fun stuff. Like there's another guy who uh, he has an ability where if he shares a little bit of his uh, like his nen as they call it, which or like their spirit power with the person, it then like every 10 seconds or like every second it like compounds interest until the person like can't use uh, that force anymore because the amount that they owe him back exceeds like what they can produce in their body. Um, so he just built himself to be a pretty like martial fighter. Like you see him, he looks like a hoodlum, but he has this really interesting power. Um, but things like that and like worlds where it's based off of video game logic. Um, all the magic's like stuff that you see in like an RPG or whatnot, which can be fun, but loses its but is not interesting after like the thousandth or the 100th time you've seen it. Like there's only so many ways you can throw a fireball. And there's also only so many ways you can do like a power fantasy like, oh, this person's just completely broken. Um, where it actually has stakes. I think that's one of the things that just doesn't grab me about a lot of those. That there's no stakes. Like this person's so powerful they can power their way through anything. Uh, let's see. I even time myself. Yeah, I beat the game that fast, but I never got a recorded video of it, sadly. I'm actually not drunk nor tired drunk. I'm just slightly tired. I even time myself, and I got 1 hour 50 minutes, which beats the current 1 hour 32 minutes with the same rules I used. You need to find a way to record that. Have a world record. I have no idea how you would. I have no idea how you would. But if you can do it that fast, then maybe you have some sort of skip or whatnot that that community at large doesn't know about. I've never sped ran anything in my life, but I've definitely gone through it down YouTube rabbit holes watching that for sure. And in a bunch of videos I watch, especially if they're like videos that are made by like, oh, this is the record of like speed running for this, or like the history of speedrunning for this game. There's a bunch of times will I mention, and this one random person showed up for a week, showed us a skip that we've never used before, and completely changed everything, and then never posted again. That stuff is all over the place. Because they're like, who was this person? Why were they here? We really appreciate them, but why? uh, all right, and then like the underarm. All right, okay, yeah, that was looking a little weird to me. Actually, I think I need to erase this. Yeah, yeah, okay. There we go. All right, well, there we go. Now I'm starting to wonder if the hands is too big. You know what? I got like 2 minutes left. Let's see what happens if I shrink the hand, if it looks weird or not. Oh no. Whoops. Hold up. Move everything back over first. There we go. Beautiful. It does look a little weird. What if we make hand bigger? Hand just be weird, yo. uh, I was very young when I did that. I don't care how I did it, but I can try again. Since there was no recorded evidence, I couldn't send in anything. When I found out about speedruns, like the website, I basically said shit. Yeah. Alright. Well, I think to date that's probably the best hand I've ever drawn. So I'll take it. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, with that, I got like 1 minute left, so I think I am going to call it there. Thank you very much, Red Narrow Bird, and anybody else who was here today. I think Maytari was here at the beginning, but I think she had to head out. I'm pretty sure Maytari is a girl, but I'm gonna put a question mark after that, um, just in case. All right, but yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday. I'm gonna do some more practicing. I don't know what I want to practice. We've done some hand practice, but that's kind of something I'm just gonna be working on forever. So, but I got the basics and I got a way of drawing them, uh, which is probably the most important thing. So I have a way to be actually consistent with, or at least more consistent with drawing them in the future. I have no idea what I want to work on this next week, but we'll get there. It might be trying to learn something new about Clip Studio that I haven't used before, because it's been a while since I've done that. Uh, any hoodle McScoodle? I stuck around till the end. You did. You were here the entire time. All right, good night. Check out the Goofy websites. Will do. All right, well, you have a good night, Red Narrow Bird, and I will see you later. Peace.